What up, YouTube? You already know, Big Lou tapping back in with what it do with Big Lou. NFZR 2, baby, baby. It's about 11 o'clock on this Thursday night. Uh, I've been feeling really, I ain't been feeling good since yesterday. And I apologize. I apologize for earlier for the videos I made where I had to clear my throat and stuff. But hey, it is what it is. So, uh, I kind of slept most of the day today. Well, I did sleep most all the day today, so it's a little late now, and you know how that goes. Alarm will go off before I know it, but I had to let these guys get out here, and I just dropped a couple of shorts, but I had to let these guys get out here and run around a little bit. Um, Yesterday, Champ wasn't feeling good. I don't know, he ate something. He was throwing up a little bit. Well, not so much throwing up, but coughing up some crap, and then he barfed up his kibble. But today, so far, he's doing good. He's running around, as you can see. We'll see what happens afterwards. After they're, once we get back on the move, we get him in the car and get him back on the move. See how he how he is then. But I just wanted to put yesterday or the day before I put a throwback of when I first got him, when I picked him up from the airport. It was either the next day or 2 days later, and he was just a little bitty 10-week-old puppy, and now he's 6 months old, and he's now taller than Daisy. Daisy's 10 months old, but we knew that Daisy was going to be more shorter and compact, more bully looking, and we knew that Champ was going to be, I predicted his size. I mean, we still got a long ways to go to see if my prediction was right, but thus far, the way it's going, his height wise, he's 22 and a half inches. Anything over another half inch he grows, he will be a double XL. Um, but anyways, his name is Champ. Uh, so whenever you're ready, Conejo, EBK family, my champ against your champ. But give me at least 6 months when he's at least a year old. Anyways, the reason why I'm saying that because this video pertains to Conejo of EBK family, or should I say Sam, right? Um, and I'm gonna put it like this. Um, I thought for one thing, Dubs made this video. He's trying to clap back. For one thing, he got the players wrong. Uh, Sam didn't say anything about him rolling up off numerous yards. That was another individual. But I'm not here for telling, so I'm not gonna. That's on him to figure all that out. But he came out, thought he was really doing something, and I thought that was just kind of chicken shit on his part for him bringing up the fact that he was 18 and he shot a minor and she's 16 when those were not charges of his. Period. I don't give a fuck what the fuck it may look like, what the fuck it really is. It is, but if it's not on black and white, you know what I'm saying? What did Johnny Cochran say? If it doesn't fit, he must have quit. You know what I'm saying? And to bring that up and to put it out there, to plant that seed in people's heads, and then just, well, I'm gonna leave it alone. That's for you guys to decide. That was some watered down ass very how do you say it? Watered down ass game. What I call it. Basically, what I mean by that is his manipulation game is weak and very watered down. You know what I'm saying? But the thing is, a lot of people will fall for that little bullshit. You know what I mean? You already see people in EBK's comments. Really, that was you? She was only 16. You shot her. Da 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 da. You know what I'm saying? Now, I'm not here to get into all the specifics and all that, but I will just touch on what Conejo said. Conejo said that whatever she said is what happened, and that he left it at that. And he basically rode the beef. You know what I'm saying? He rode the beef. He didn't tell on nobody. Now, the funny part is that I've caught many of lives by Dubs as well as many other people, and they always seem to say, "Oh, you can't believe what the media puts out because the media has an agenda, and the media this and the media that, fake news this, fake news that." But when it comes to you trying to put a narrative across or your point across, then the media is all good to use as a as co-signing something. You know what I'm saying? Um, we know that they always bullshit. They always get things wrong. That's a fact, right? Uh, that they screw shit up all the time where they'll say that somebody died that didn't die. You know what I'm saying? Or they'll put something in there that somebody died that didn't die but actually killed somebody. Or they'll get the people mixed up that was involved and say that somebody was an assailant when they really were the victim. We've seen this stuff numerous times, many times over. that was just more the reason why I say it was chicken shit on his part to go that route when nowhere on this guy's paperwork. Um, that wasn't his charge. His charge was negligent firing of what was it? Negligence of a firearm. So I think that was weak. Now I will say this. I don't know who they got coming forward that's going to say that Dubs was a dope fiend and Dubs rolled it off numerous yards. Um, I don't know. I'd have to see that and see what's going to happen with that as far as who's coming forward. Me personally, I don't believe it. I don't believe Dubs was a dope fiend. I've heard his stories about his mother and things like that. Now, don't get me wrong. There's been a lot of us that parents, were dope fiends, and we always say, "Oh, we're not going to do that," but then we end up, going that route. It's just where I'm at. I don't believe Dubs was a dope fiend. The whole funny part about all this, though, is that the one that he needs to be questioning and doing like that is his partner. Now, I don't have nothing against Gunner personally. I was always cool with him, but the fact is, facts are facts. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, and people keep on questioning Dreamer, why Dreamer was supporting him. He told you why. He told you why. He said, that was 30 years ago. We were youngsters at the time. And, he just gave the dude the benefit of the doubt. He supported him because he thought he was pushing a positive message. And at the end of the day, he seen what he was really about. The agenda, his agenda, and what he was pushing. And that, can't people make mistakes? People always, not so much mistakes, but can't people's let me rephrase that. I said that wrong. Not mistakes. What I meant to say was, can't people change their opinion on things, the way they feel about things over time, when they start seeing different things happen, and different things said, and different agenda that's pushed, or different, whatever it is, behind the scenes stuff, whatever it is they may see that they no longer agree with what this individual is doing. But come on, let's keep it real. No, who the hell agrees with 150% of what somebody does? Nobody. Come on, man. Your own family members, you don't even, Your own homeboys, you don't even agree with everything they do. You know what I'm saying? And for somebody to sit there and act like otherwise is straight bullshit. And anybody to fall for that, shame on you. You know what I'm saying? You're more gullible and naive than I thought. You know what I'm saying? Let's put it like that. But you know, uh, I don't. I believe. I'll just put it like this. I believe Dove's story about being in the shoe and all that. There were some things that was brought up in the last live with Dreamer about, and I get what Dreamer's saying. He's saying, well, if you want to start questioning things, well, let's bring up some things and question you on. So I get that. I understand that totally. Um, but Dreamer is from the more older, more older school, more of my generation. As well as Dubs. Dubs might be a little bit older. I think Dreamer might be. I'm not sure. I'm 40. I'll be 40. I'm 45 next month. Uh, uh, I think I heard Dreamer say something about Centinela, and I think I heard him say something about 95, 96. So if that's the case, he either got the end of the J numbers or the beginning of the K numbers, and I believe Dubs same thing. So we're not far off. We're right there in the same vicinity, as well as Flacco. Um, Now Gunner, on the other hand, I always had this in my mind that I don't believe he came to the state prison until like '06, '07. I think he hit prison in Oregon before he hit prison here. And that's the way it's panning out to be, because all you got to do is do the numbers, right? All you got to do, just like he said, his number was 5'5" or 5'6", and then Dubs corrected him and say, "Nah, you couldn't have been." And then that's when he was like, "Oh shit, my number, yeah, oh yeah, 6'9", 5'6", or whatever." Same thing. No, the CDC numbers don't lie. I can pinpoint it down to a year or two. You know what I'm saying? Depending on what number it is. Obviously, way back when the A's were a lot longer, and then it went from A and 4 numbers to an A and 5 numbers, and then to a B, and the B's were in effect for about 12 years. And then once it got to C's, then it started getting a little less, 5 or 6 years per number, and then obviously a little less as it went up to let's see. Once it got past the D numbers, it started going. Yeah, D numbers were about 2, 3 years long, and then E numbers, same thing. And so once it got to about the D's and E's, numbers started turning faster. Um, but anybody tells me what year they went, I'm gonna tell them what letter they had. It's that simple. There ain't no lying and bullshitting when it comes to that. You know what I mean? I will say this. The only thing I'm gonna say is that it's changed somewhat in the system. Okay, back then we didn't use the word active. That word wasn't used, active. It's just basically was you were in good standings or you weren't. You were GP or you weren't. That was it. Either you had some bullshit on you as far as weirdo stuff or telling you couldn't walk the line. That was it. There was nobody saying, "Hey, homie, you active." I remember when I came back through the system in '06, when the R&R sergeant asked me that, I was like, "What the fuck you talking about?" You know what I'm saying? It kind of threw me off. It threw me off guard a little bit because, like I said, nobody admitted that. You just went. If the line was bad, you went out there and handled your business. Nowadays people can straight say, "Oh, I can't go out there." As long as you don't sign something, now you're really admitting it. Then you're fucked. But anytime you get a 114, your lockup order, if they say, "Oh, you don't fit the housing criteria here," or this and that, like basically what happened when I hit Pleasant Valley, it said, "Oh, you don't fit the housing criteria. Therefore, you've been found guilty of this. We checked your C file. You've been found guilty of this and blah blah blah." And then I remember I was the one that stepped up and grabbed the paperwork, and it was about 7 or 8 of us, something like that, maybe 10. I don't remember exactly. It's been almost 20 years ago. Uh, I read it, and I read it out loud to everybody, and we already knew we don't sign that shit. So I just read it, handed it back. I said, "Who the fuck you guys are saying this? We're not telling you this. Put us out there. We can go out there." You know what I'm saying? And that was all it went. But we went to the whole, obviously, because we didn't fit the mission, the criteria of the housing mission of Pleasant Valley at the time. And also around that same time, it was no, not around that same time. A few years later, it was CMF, Vacaville, um, and there was a few other places. Most of the other prisons, though, they had multiple yards where there were, there was yards that were considered 50/50s and yards that were considered full functioning on the same institution. So, they could house you. You know what I'm saying? If for whatever reason they couldn't house you, they put you in the oil, which is the hole for whatever amount of days it took to find you a bed or whatever. But a lot of times too, back in the day, if your C file didn't come with you, because back in the day it was actually a binder with your C file in it, with your central file. It came with you on the bus. If it didn't come with you for whatever reason, you would go to the hole and you would stay in there uh, until the C file caught up to you, and then you would be released to the yard. Um, Nowadays everything's on SAMs, everything's on the computer, so everything. I mean, your medical, your C file, your money, your account, everything is on the computer now, and so things have changed, man. So a lot of these cats with these double letters, they don't. Things have changed, man. It's just this. It is what it is. It's changed, from everything, from the validation system to the way the packages are ran to the way they run the yards, the way everything, the way everything is now. It's way different. Now I've been out next month, July makes 6 years. I've been out. No violations, no incarcerations, no nothing, and just in those 6 years, things have changed a lot. 6 years is a long time because a lot of these yards for a while there they would flip every maybe every 6 to 8 months. They would flip. For 1 minute, this might be a GP yard, and then 6 months later, 8 months later, it's a S&Y yard, or it's a 50/50 yard. It was a lot of that going on. So a lot of times, well, not a lot of times, but a few times there, cats would go into a yard and you know, they, they weren't aware of exactly what was going on in the yard. So you had to play it, by ear and just watch the movement, watch what's going on, watch what people were doing. uh a lot of times your own people would tell you that, hey, these yards are poison, full of poison, and there's this going on, that going on. So you already knew if there was bulldogs, Fresno bulldogs or county dogs in those yards, that it was no good for active active Latinos. Basically I just put it like that. So a lot of things have changed over the years, you know what I'm saying. Um, Even back then too, it was on the on-site thing started with Fresno and all that. And I remember too when I came back through in '06, I started seeing cats with Selma on their stomach and Reedley and Sanger, and they weren't riding with the homies no more. You know what I'm saying? They weren't riding with the North no more. Those homeboys, you know what I'm saying? So it was a big, somewhat of a culture shock, I guess you could say. Um, and so it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? But with that being said, um, I didn't touch more on the subject at hand. I kind of got off track there. But so Sam, right? So Sam even said that going back to one point, he was 16 and his old lady was 15, and he was living with them and their family. Okay, this type of thing has happened many times. You know, where they even get busted for it. You know, where he's 16, she's 15, then eventually he turns 18 and she's still 17, or in this case 16 because it's like 15 months difference. Now that's what getting busted and going in for that case. On Sam's shit, it's nowhere in his case. You know what I'm saying? Therefore, it shouldn't even have been brought up. That's why I say it's chicken shit, right? Now, I mean, I get it, man. You know, he's trying to go tick for tat, but at the same time, Sam wasn't the one that said that. You know what I'm saying? So, apparently, you went by what somebody told you instead of looking into shit for yourself. You know what I'm saying? Uh, and it seems to happen a lot on this YouTube, where different content creators are having an issue, and instead of one content creator will get a subscriber will drop a comment or an email or whatever, and tell him, "Hey, man, so and so said this." Instead of him checking into it, he just runs with it and then tries to fire back. And I think that's what happened here. Um, and apparently Sam got something coming for that ass. I guess he has some, breaking news that's gonna be hitting soon. It might have hit today already. I don't know. I didn't get no alerts, but I'll go back and check. I know he's been doing his treatment, so uh, hopefully everything went all right with that. And hopefully everything works out for him. In this battle that that he just started, man. My pops is going through some similar things. It's not exactly the same, but he's 80 years old. Conejo's a young man. What, late 20s or early 30s? I'm not sure. Uh, but it's still that C word. You know what I mean? And my pops goes for his surgery on the 30th. So same thing. I wish. Obviously he's my pops. I wish him the best. I wish he can beat. I hope he beats this. God willing, he will. But at the same time, I wish Conejo beats this. God willing, he will, as well as anybody else's family members or friends that are going through this type of situation, man. You know what I'm saying? It's serious. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, it's life threatening. Obviously, uh, and he said it a few times that they caught it early, so that's always a plus when they catch it early. You know what I mean? So on the serious note, you know what I'm saying? The rest of this shit, like my Mexican brothers say, what they say, vete la verga. Us Puerto Ricans say, vete pa carajo. Basically means the same thing. You know what I'm saying? Means the same thing. But you know, I'm gonna go ahead and tap out on this one right here. But we'll see what happens next. But Sam, don't trip, Sam. You know what I mean? Which I know you're not. I know you're not. But I just wanted to put it out there. You know what I'm saying? I couldn't believe my ears when I was hearing. I mean, what I was seeing and hearing, and just the fact, like I mentioned earlier, like, and no other time is it okay to take the media's word for it, except for this time when it got to do with Sam. You know what I'm saying? So, Big Lou tapping out with Daisy Queen. You see her? Oh no, she ain't even showing. Daisy Queen, champ, and we out.